my hands down.
Grab that office chair over there and just pull it over this way. So you get a little bit closer to them. Come on, it's up to you. You talk loud.
Oh, I can project.
You can, yeah.
Okay, we're on. Okay, so, project.
Yeah, so I basically outlined it in the email that we sent. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read it, but
I did read through it.
we were a little concerned about the vagueness of the bid spec,
Okay.
because it currently says, it's currently calling for things that we do differently right now. And so it's different than our current contract.
Uh-huh.
For instance, one of the things is that it calls for the cemeteries to be mowed every 2 weeks, where we were asked to do it, the cemeteries every 3 weeks, and the town office every 2 weeks. We were never contracted to do cleanup at the cemeteries. We've done it anyway, just because it makes it a little easier for us. We've just blown leaves, not like picked up sticks and stuff. And it asks for stuff that we, for instance, some people would think that cleanup would be like sweeping sand, because different towns that we mow for ask for different things.
Yeah.
For, spring and fall cleanup and stuff like that, so we just want to make sure that when we put our bid in, that it's on the same specs that everybody else is gonna bid on. If you actually want more work done or less work done or the same, because we want everybody to be able to bid on what you guys actually want done. So that's all. We just would like some clarification, and if you do clarify we want to make sure that all the other bidders would be able to get the same information, so that it's apples to apples.
Do you want me to send you something, David? Do you need it?
Well, I've got the ad. Is there more than that? I don't remember.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, because when we first got the contract, in 2022, I think that was the first year we did it for you folks. We were sent a schedule that was asked for the mowing, and it called for, it ended up being changed afterwards because like the ball field and the hills were only being done twice a year.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
And
It just didn't look good.
and that was, agreed upon, but, and so we've been doing that every 2 weeks. So that actually lines up with what's asked for, I think, in this time, but we just want you guys to get what you want done.
Yeah.
But we also want to be bidding on what everybody else is going to be bidding on, because there's a lot of different interpretations of what cleanup means, and how often and how much and things like that. 'Cause
Yeah,
we do
it
sand
is
removal.
vague because frankly, the mowing, edging, and cleanup refers to this property.
Right.
Mowing the cemeteries is separate,
Yep.
if you will.
Right.
And frankly, I didn't realize that was just every 3 weeks
Yep.
under your current setup. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that was because we were given a schedule after we won the bid.
Yeah.
We were sent a schedule, like,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I have
Calendar.
a calendar thing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I'm not doubting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
oh,
just-
yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, we just, so, we enjoy working for you guys. And
Yeah.
you're easy to work for, and
Well,
it's,
we appreciate the good work. Personally, I'd recommend that we maybe run this ad again. And, well, before I say that, is mowing the cemeteries every 3 weeks sufficient in your eyes?
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they don't grow even, sometimes, like when it gets dry,
Yeah,
especially, really the big one over by the meeting house.
yeah,
Not much grows over there
Yeah,
when it's
yeah,
super dry.
yeah.
So, that just keeps everything,
yeah.
cleaned up so it doesn't look too neglected.
So probably, I mean, I think we can break this into two parts.
The cleanup usually is the sand and that kind of thing is usually our road commissioner has somebody come in, but they didn't do that last year. You probably,
Yeah,
I know you noticed because we had a conversation
Yeah.
about it, right?
You said
Yeah.
Jen
Right.
and I was gonna go out and we never.
Right.
Well,
We're gonna have to do that again because it's really, talk about it anyway.
Yeah, so we, at one point, we blew the sand off of like the sidewalks and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we know it gets trapped and it's like a nightmare on the floors and stuff. So there's little things that are in there that we've been doing anyway.
Mhm.
Right.
But
Right.
technically not in the
So if we said something to the effect that mowing, edging, and cleanup at 634 North Road, including all of the mowable areas. Also, the two cemeteries, mowing the two cemeteries. And we can put the first part would be every 2 weeks here, and then every 3 weeks at the cemeteries.
Yeah, something along those lines so that it's a little clearer to everybody
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
And maybe even just a little thing that just says like clean up, where the sticks go, or they can call and ask for specifics, whatever works for you folks, but because some places we have to remove the sticks off the property,
Yeah,
but most cemeteries and stuff, we dispose of it on the property because that's where they come from anyway,
Yeah.
cemeteries.
Right.
And some people want the leaves removed from the property, some of them just want them blown into the woods, and, there's a lot of variables that
yeah.
Yeah.
you don't think about really.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And like
Okay.
I said, we just want to make sure that you guys get what you want,
Right,
and that everybody that's bidding is bidding on
It's a level
the same
field.
thing, that's
Yeah.
all.
yeah. Yep. Certainly understand where you're coming from.
So if you go in next Monday,
Yeah,
or 2 weeks again,
what do we have, May 5th? Yeah. No, we have April 28th for the bids.
Yeah.
So, it's there. It goes in the 9th and the 16th. Yeah, I guess you do it 9th and the 16th. Okay. And I can do that. I can break the ad up and I'll forward it around and you folks can look it out. And then we'll forward you a copy when we get it together.
That's reasonable,
Okay,
yeah,
very good.
awesome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your coming in.
Yeah, thanks for
You're-
coming in.
You're welcome, you're
Yeah.
welcome, you guys have a good night.
Yeah.
good night.
You as well.
So May 28th is when and you're saying if we put it in Monday, they'll come out on the 9th and the 16th.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah, and we should note in the ad that it's a change. The cemetery mowing.
Uh-huh.
You put
Every
on the
3
top
weeks.
revised ad or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And we might even want to say after the cemetery mowing that's different. But, all right, so I'll do that.
That seems so awkward to do the town every 2 weeks and then the cemeteries on
Yeah.
the third week. I mean, these guys are coming from Wyndham, right? Aren't they coming
Yeah.
from Wyndham?
I'm not even sure, but I believe you're correct.
While we're talking about ads and bids and things.
I'm looking at your email.
I just, it reminded me that I never forwarded it over to you. So I sent over what I wrote up. It's just obviously just the top section, but of each of the ads, and then do the normal thing on the bottom, but I have to vote on those in the meeting.
Outline of the ad on solid waste.
seeking proposals from qualified firms to design and implementation of the replacement of its existing heating system. Fuel solution based on the heat pumps.
Yeah,
We
so-
have we have two people looking at the propane stove hookup so far, right?
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
but that really should go in conjunction with the
Yep.
boiler.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I figured we could run kind of, those two definitely should be run at the same time and potentially be bid on and won by the same person.
Yeah,
Removal of the furnace from the old town hall, pretty straightforward one.
Old Merrill Hill Town Hall, right? Yeah,
Correct.
okay. On Merrill Hill, not Maple.
Oh, Maple
Yeah.
Crest, I put.
Yep.
I don't know how that started to become called the old town hall, but it's the townhouse.
Yeah. Lynn would correct us on that.
The old town hall is at 62 Federal Road. That is the original townhouse on Merrill Hill. Oh, boy.
Critics, trash, need old adling, need trash. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, okay. Need trashy old ad language. Yeah, we must have a, geez, how long has Mellon's had that contract for? How old would that ad be?
3 years,
3 years?
right?
Deb probably has it somewhere, huh, Deb?
What?
An ad for, did we ever put an ad in the paper for the Mellon, for bid on trash before
Got it
Mellon?
right here.
Okay. The
She's
ad?
on it.
Yeah.
All right,
Just putting David's name on here.
okay.
So I'm gonna pick up trash.
But yeah, so for the furnace one,
Kinda what we do.
I felt like keeping it kind of vague and, because it's really gonna be two types of bids, right? It's either gonna be a bid to replace what we have with another boiler, or a bid to replace the heating system as a whole.
Right.
And if we wanna go the route of heat pumps, and that way, just from a cost, I don't know if one way is gonna be more cost effective for the town going forward, and I'm hoping that whoever bids, if anyone bids, can make that clearer for us and kind of make a proposal of, hey, you know, if we replace the boiler, it's gonna cost you X, but if you did heat pumps,
And
then,
we already have solar,
and we already have solar, so, yeah.
but the heat pumps themselves are gonna be a huge cost to install.
Right, but
Probably more
but then you get there's rebates for the heat pumps.
Yep.
Versus no rebates if you go with the boiler, so,
Yeah, we can't get, I don't think we'll qualify for the rebates.
Because of our
I'm surprised.
town,
Yeah.
because of our town status, our
Yeah.
nonprofit town status?
Yeah, we couldn't get the rebates there, that's why.
Really?
We had to, Revision had to own them for 5 or 6 years. They got the rebates,
Oh, that-
passed them on to
I
us through
know-
a
well,
reduced
that's
price.
That's good to know. I wondered why.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do leasing,
yeah,
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
we had a,
But if, you know, somebody, if that
But
that
there's
route
grant
is.
money.
There's grant money, and there's certainly grant money for those types of projects. Versus, and then obviously we just got the email about the, Collins opened up the
Yes.
annual,
Yep, I saw that.
yeah,
I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
we can certainly look at projects
Mhm.
like that. I mean, certainly gonna be a large cost.
SMPDC would help us a lot with that.
Yeah.
kind of stuff, too, so.
right.
Yeah, SMPDC would be good, and then there's, I can't remember the name of that other group that does, they literally just do grant writing in southern Maine, like it's a group that's what they do.
Really?
Yeah, I found them in my
Oh, I
searches.
think I remember you talking about it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, 'cause I had found some decent, grants out there. There's one for sidewalks and crossings called the Village Partnership Initiative that I think we should definitely look into. And then there's the Community Facilities Grant Program is for town hall improvements. And so I gotta look into those two a little bit more to see if they kind of meet that criteria of, for the furnace piece, or if we gotta look at it for the stove piece, or what we gotta look at it for. And then there were a couple that were rec-related ones, an ATV municipal grant. So there's a municipal grant out there that if you partner with ATV, I know we've got them on to talk about as well, but
Is Land Share Riders ATV as well as,
just ATV.
oh, just ATV, okay.
Yeah, snow drifters, is that what the?
Is that what the?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what the snowmobile is.
Okay,
Yeah, but they would be a good group to talk to about that matching, because it's a matching grant.
uh-huh,
And so that would be a good group to talk to about money being available. And then the Land and Water Conservation Fund. So I sent those all to myself with links, kind of things that are out there. But yeah, I've got it on my home computer, whatever that name of that group is. I check there every so often because they open up a new one and close one. So
uh-huh.
it's got a full list of all eligible grants that, municipal grants that are out there. So those were just some of the few that I had looked at the other day. Then the other ones were all straightforward. Propane stove, straightforward. Removing the furnace was straightforward, and wiring the septic pumps. We talked about that one on Thursday. Yep.
So, for workshop stuff and to change the subject, I guess, there's been, conditional use permit applications coming in. And I would really like it if we were able to consolidate and finalize I did change the wording on the application, cannabis facility licensing application. I didn't like that bottom paragraph, I think I sent it to you. And then our checklist is pretty much what needs to be handed in for the facility licensing. And I would be good to go if we finalized and,
Okay.
and had that completed.
Can I get those two things from you?
Yep.
Because I have different versions floating around, and I don't want to
Get
get
the
into the
latest.
same situation we got into with the licensing ordinance where we had the wrong thing posted.
Well, there still is an issue with the facility licensing about the chapter 12, when it should be chapter 13.
Yeah.
And I know I sent it over to them, but
Yeah.
for some reason. And the other thing that I want to rely on Aaron's artistic capabilities for is, because what you sent me for the checklist is a PDF, so I wanted to add our logo to that checklist.
Yep.
And then we have Town of Parsonsfield written on it, but I was just thinking, should we do Town of Parsonsfield and then, 634 North Road, do that, or just leave it as Town of Parsonsfield? I'll send it to you now so you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can get those.
Yep. And then, to go along with that, Desiree sent us an email wanting to just check in with us in terms of the conditional use permit application. She wanted to know, that we were on the same page with her as far as that goes, as far as
Right.
that. Have you?
Yeah, I think her only question that she had there was what we needed to see on. Was it what we needed to see on the form, or
On the CUP, on the conditional
Yeah.
use? Yeah,
Approval
right.
letter.
yeah,
Basically, what I'm thinking is if they go through what are there, 10 or 12 requirements on the application and say they're successfully submitted and approved with conditions, approved with no conditions, or if all of them are approved, they can say that. with no conditions.
Right.
We need that, and then because of this, we are issuing an approval for something like that. And then, as I mentioned to Jen, the last paragraph of the letter from or the sample from MMA could be put in there.
Yep. Yeah, it just needs, like you said, it just needs to say approval and that it's a approval of a conditional use permit.
Right.
Right,
That's all we need.
right. And one separate for each conditional use that they're applying for.
Right.
Right. So I sent it to you, Dave. I sent it to you, Town of Parsonsfield Adult Use and Medical Cannabis Business Application.
Just now you sent it?
Nope, I sent it
Okay.
earlier, but I didn't send the checklist to you yet.
Okay, when did that one come in?
12/12.
I'm sorry, say again?
12/12.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I just, under the application where it says notice, I didn't like the wording, so I wanted to change that. So I'll wait till you open that up, we'll read that, and then we'll go, then we'll
Oh,
look
yeah, I
at
read your words, but I didn't look at the application.
the. Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I getting, 1 inch of snow? Documentation from the Town of Parsonsfield's Planning Board for conditional use, along with the application from the Office of Cannabis Policy's conditional licensure and SRCC's approval, if necessary, are to be submitted prior to town approval.
See, no, I don't like that.
Okay,
I
select,
think they need to be submitted with the application. Right? Or no?
documentation from the Town of Parsonsfield's Planning Board, along with the application from the Town of conditional licensure and SRCC's approval are to be submitted, and it should say select board approval, not town, okay? Because town could be.
But, I mean, with
Um,
that sentence, they could submit this one page and say we've submitted an application. Then you'll get the rest of it later. I know we won't be approved, but you'll get the rest of it later, which is not what we want.
Well, they are coming in and filling this out initially,
Right?
okay? And then they've been doing whatever the planning board's requirement was. And then that and our checklist, which covers everything in the facility licensing ordinance.
Okay.
And the checklist, I don't know if you have, I'll send that to you.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Do we need to include that first sentence? Because,
Documentation from the Town of Parsonsfield Planning Board, well, no, this is what, when they come in and they put down whatever type of application they're applying for with the town, it seems like it would be helpful for them to know what the information that they need to get to the select board. You know, the planning board's conditional use permit, SRCC's stuff if they need it, and because all of that is more information that they are going to submit.
right, but
Or do you think just the checklist is enough? They could pick that up at the same time, the checklist, so they'll have.
right,
yeah.
that's what I'm thinking, is if we get rid of that sentence, we can include this and the checklist. Did you send the checklist recently?
No, you sent it to me as a PDF. I can,
Okay.
oh, so you should have it somewhere on your computer, I think, in PDF form.
Did I get a copy of that?
Um,
When did you get that, do you know?
a while ago. Hold on, let me, let me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've got that right here.
Okay.
Let me copy that.
So, town of, letters of approval, CEO, fire chief, SRCC, planning board to include conditions, yeah, evidence of commercial general liability insurance as, and section 8A. And then I mean, we can be as detailed as we want in terms of asking them for an operations plan for
Yeah.
everything there, listed there. And then if they have all that and they check it off, and all they need to do would be to show it to Danielle or Renee, right? Just, here's this, 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 and this, and Danielle checks it off. She doesn't have to read anything. She doesn't have to go through it. Just has to be. That'll be our job. Do you have the logo on your computer saved somewhere? Or I think I can send them to you. If you think we need to have it on there. I just,
On the checklist?
yeah, I was just thinking pretty, making it pretty, but.
Yeah. Let's move the town of Parsonsfield an application checklist. Make a cannabis application checklist.
Okay.
Over the center.
Okay,
Make it bigger and put the logo on the left.
okay.
Seems to kind of be the way we're going.
I like it. I like
Then
it.
you can move the applicant and staff down a little on top of the boxes. And there are a whole bunch of typos.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
Number 3, business, at the end of the second line.
Uh-huh.
Number 4, convicted in the third line.
And proof in number 3.
And, oh, proof, yeah, I knew that was in there.
Yep. We can go through it.
Yeah.
Are you able to open it up in Word, Aaron, so you can?
Well, I am, but the editing becomes the challenge. But I will,
Sufficient, and we can just go through it once you're open, and we can go through line by line.
Yeah. This is actually in Excel. I mean, I can open it if you want. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, so if we, right, I think if we give them the application, one-page application, and the checklist, we can leave that first line out. And then
Under notices of the,
documentation.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Let me get into that then.
and $100 application fee paid is in there twice, once at the top, once at the bottom.
yeah, already fixed that.
Okay.
Going through,
What are you looking at now, Aaron? The application or the checklist?
the checklist.
Okay. Because it's under, the fee paid is under the application as well,
Yeah.
so I think I will leave it on the top.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll get rid of this. So, okay, take out documentation from the town. Okay, take that out. Okay.
and for what it's worth, I'd say spell out information, where you have complete applications contain the information. since it's a formal document.
Say that again, David, I just was doing something.
The sentence that you're leaving at the bottom, spell out the fifth word, information, instead of just info.
Okay, I got you.
I don't think it's gonna add another line. If it adds another line, then,
I don't, well, we have space,
okay.
yeah.
And is there a character at the top, the first type of application before tier 1? Looks like there's a little tilde or something.
I don't know what that is. Let me see if I can get
I
rid of
think
that.
it is, I can select it, so I think it's character.
Yep,
Thank you.
that was weird.
Okay, fix that.
Are you guys both fixing the same thing?
I don't think so. I think you're on the checklist and I'm on the application.
I've got both up.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we just want to end up with one
Yeah.
copy.
All right, I've
That's
got
the
the
master.
application.
Okay.
Complete applications containing the information covered in section 531 of cannabis, of the cannabis facility license and ordinance. There's
That was an Excel. Excel, but it's a PDF. That makes sense.
Well, I sent one that was a mess.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what it is. So you have the original of this, I'm assuming, in Excel, Aaron?
Yes,
Okay. You have it there?
I do.
Oh, okay, okay, good.
Going through it now. come on.
On the application, Jen, we should have, or we need a signature somewhere. I'm not sure if it goes there. If we've got it, we must have it on the licensing application.
So, let's see, name, maybe under email address last, applicant signature. I know it's going to be on the conditional use permit, it's going to be on Office of Cannabis Policy, but we can put it on this initial application.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we need it.
Okay,
Yeah, under that first email
Yep.
address would be fine.
so just keep deleting what I'm sending you until we get the final one.
Yeah. As long as we started at the same place, then we can send that around.
How many iterations of this have we done? Let's see. I will get rid of the old one and now I'll send you this one. Maybe I'll wait till Aaron's done. Kitchen because I know I left the dishwasher in a state.
How we doing?
Fellas,
Hey, Dave.
how's it going?
Huh?
Well,
It's
yourself?
going.
Round and round, just another day, right?
How
So-
about with you?
You know, we still have snow out there because of the last storm, but
Yeah.
we'll survive.
Yep.
So I got some dates coming up that I'm not going to be around. So,
Okay. Could you note these, please, Debbie?
let's see. I mean, the first one,
TV on there.
Okay. all right. The first one I'll be in Virginia. I can answer my phone. I just can't go anywhere. I'll be too far away. So, April 25th.
Right, okay.
And we'll be back, hoping for Saturday, May 3rd. Okay. The second one is going to be November,
Okay.
so I'm going to be gone November 22nd
Yeah.
until December 7th. I'm going to India, so I will
Right.
not have my cell phone.
I was gonna ask you to go and hunting, but I guess.
No, my daughter's getting married.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yep, so it's
That beats my trip to England for a sister-in-law to get married.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So, Leamington will have their cell phone, because they do not want to pay international charges, and I don't blame them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll have to figure out what we can do over here, because I do use Leamington's number. That's what we have published.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh,
All right. Yeah, we can look at that.
we got a little bit of time till we get to that point,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
just so that you guys know. I mean, the rest of my little vacations that I have here and there, I'll be around,
Yeah.
so I'll be able to answer anything.
Yeah.
So, those were the big ones, because I'm just not gonna be, one, I'm not gonna be United States. The other one, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be the state of Maine.
awesome.
So, but,
Congratulations.
so they got married here, but he is from India originally. He's a citizen here now. There's no dual citizenship
Yeah.
for him. But his parents wanted to leave India wedding.
Jeez.
So, on Thanksgiving Day is when the ceremony will be.
And that's when you may be meeting the parents.
we'll be meeting the parents when we fly out. So, which will be on the 24th, I think we're gonna be in India. It's a 24-hour flight. So, 2 different flights, a layover in London. So, I've never been out of the US, so this will be a first.
That's
Nice.
quite a trip.
Right? Well, I've got a TWIC card and all of that, so hopefully I'll be good to go. So,
Exciting.
yes, yeah, definitely. So you guys busy to talk about other stuff, or?
We are kind of busy, believe it or not, but you can talk.
Okay, so, of course, I just let you know about Leamington cell phone.
Yeah.
I've got to talk to them and see what they want to do with that,
Uh-huh.
as far as, because they actually are going to upgrade their service plan
Mhm.
to be able to use as a hotspot. I don't know if I told you last time, but they should have told you out in the front there. I now have access to the dog licensures, so that when I go to a person's place, I can actually look it up as long as I have service. Parsonsfield, Lower Parsonsfield is going to be touch and go,
Yeah.
but just go until I get service, and then I'll be able to look up and see if they actually have the dog's license. Because I've been told in the past that they have, and of course, gotta wait until they're open here in order to find out.
Right.
So,
So the towns now, aside from stuff that's done online by the owner, the
Right.
town has to send,
so it's on their same database. So they're using the state's new site.
Okay.
Every time that they license an
Okay.
animal,
that's right, I remember
the state
that.
knows about
Yeah,
it because
that's-
they issue all the
I've
numbers.
done it, you know,
So,
Okay.
yep.
Long time.
So it's not
It's all
like I
the
have
college
access to
stuff.
Parsonsfield's site. It's the state.
Yeah,
of-
it's the
Park
state,
bonds
yeah,
are
okay,
blue.
yeah, I forgot about
Exactly.
that.
Yep.
Right.
So,
got it
I've
all
taken the
on one
training,
page
so I'm all set on that.
Mhm.
So,
in Word.
so that's
So-
up and running now. I've been on
I
it a
can't
couple
get
of
this other
times.
page
Not
to
for
go away,
Parsonsfield, but I've been on it for Leamington, so. I know that the last time I was in here, there was a mention that there might be somebody coming on as an assistant or a deputy ACO.
Have we,
Him, and he never got
Yeah.
back to, I could probably just re-email, just say, hey, still
Yep.
any interest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. 'Cause,
yeah, that'd be nice.
Next year, I'm hoping to go on a couple of cruises, or at least one. So I'll be
Yeah.
out of the country
Yeah.
again. So it's good to have backup. I mean, if I was to use Wade out of Newfield, he may charge a separate fee, because if I have to go into a different town like Limerick, I do charge them. Because it's my time, my vehicle, and all of that. So Wade, it's his time, his vehicle. I don't know what his price would be to charge to come over and cover something if the state police, and that's, so if the state police call me, that's usually when I will go out of my territory to pick up an animal, because it's an emergency situation. So, but, secondary, you saw the invoice for Metcalf's.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
have that equipment.
We
on
just
my
wanted to
truck.
make sure that it was a valid charge, that's all.
It is,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
is. So I do have that, and I do have it on my truck.
Yeah.
To be able to be used over here.
Yeah, and what did you get? I don't,
So I got a lead line that I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be able to use for a horse or cow, goats. I don't know if I'd put it on a pig, that'd be quite a
yeah,
tassel if you put it on a pig, but I also got some treats that are used for goats, cows, and horses. So I had nothing that I could use to kind of edge them on over to me. So, and I'll tell you, I've had a few calls over here having to deal with the larger animals. So I have that stuff so that I can make sure that I can
yeah,
get the
Yeah.
job done and not have to call in other individuals.
right,
So,
okay.
was there an incident that was something in the road, or?
so in the past, I've had an incident down off of Fenderson that luckily a neighbor had a bucket and had some treats and were able to lead the animals back to their owner.
Yeah,
So, after that incident, then I started thinking, and that's when I came and approached you guys about the count down at Metcalf's. So I want to make sure that I'm prepared, so I don't have to go down there, and if it's after hours, it's
Right.
hard to make up for what we don't have.
Yeah.
So, I was a Boy Scout, I like to be prepared. So, but also, one other thing that I am going to be doing is I'm looking into the pre-rabies vaccine. Okay, so Leamington has already got their budget to be able to do that. So I need to know if you guys are willing to also chip in on them. They're $1,200 if I go through Concentra. I'm trying to find a different place because Concentra charges you for an office visit, the whole 9 yards.
Tell me what a
Yeah,
pre-rabies.
what is this?
So pre-rabies vaccine is if I was to go out and get bit by a dog that ends up being confirmed rabies,
Yeah,
it's before. So I'm already, what they do is they give you 2 shots
yeah.
and then they do a titer a year after to make sure it took. So it's kind of like, there's another shot with the fire department that we have to take when we're around metal and all of that, hepatitis B. It's like that, it's for pre-exposure.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Your insurance doesn't cover it?
no,
What? Huh.
it does not. The only time that something like that would happen, and some insurances may, some may not, is if I got bit before I got this, then they may pay for the actual
The rabies shots.
rabies
Yeah.
shots at that time.
Yeah, I know my daughter had an exposure and that was covered. She had to go through the series of them.
Right.
Yeah.
David,
Yeah,
I'm looking at the
absolutely.
expense report, and here's 1,500. I do not know what it, I don't see any mileage, and I know you've had mileage, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yep,
No.
I have.
Why that's not showing.
Although, no. When does your fiscal year start over?
July.
Okay, so yeah, they should have had mileage in there.
Yeah,
Because I do submit it. I submit my time and mileage
right,
once a
right,
month.
that's what I thought.
Yep.
Maybe if she's paying it elsewhere on mileage, I'll see what I can find on that.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So this rabies shot, you obviously don't need one for every town.
Nope,
You said Leamington has approved it.
yep. Yeah, they had their town meeting in March,
Yeah,
and I put it in their budget beforehand,
yeah.
so.
And what did you say the cost is? 1,200?
$1,200
Yeah.
if I went through Concentra, but I'm not planning on going through Concentra.
And who is Concentra? Just
Concentra is it's a company that companies send their employees to for
Okay.
pre-checks, for pre-physicals, and all of that. So Leamington deals with them because they have a fire department that's paid, and EMS that's paid, and Public Works that's paid, so they send all their employees there. So that's why I got the quote from them. But I've been in touch with, there is a wildlife center over in Leamington also. She's given me a link that I'm going to look into to see how much, if I can get it cheaper through, it's almost like a grant, I do believe. So I'm going to try and get it a lot cheaper going through that. Walgreens, they also do it. It's like $400 to $500 cheaper than Concentra. So,
Well, that's a
if
good
anything,
start.
if anything, it's going to be Walgreens
Yeah.
if I can't get this other one. I haven't closed the door because I like to try and find the cheapest, as long as it works.
Yeah, let us know about that, because we'll have to find a bucket to put that in,
Yep.
the expenditure. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have a problem approving that, but we'd need to know what it would cost
Okay.
first.
Yep. I'll do some more research.
Yeah.
Just want to let you guys know because I know that you guys go to town meeting later in the year.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're in your budgeting phase now, it might be. I mean, I'll try and get you a figure as soon as I possibly can, an actual locked figure.
And is that an annual booster or one
Nope,
time?
so basically what happens is you get your first shot.
Yeah.
A week later, you get your second shot.
Yeah.
A year later, you do a titer. That's all set, you're good.
Okay,
No more.
okay. And that the cost that you quoted us, is that for all three of those?
That's for all three of the things.
Okay, the whole
Yep,
series.
the whole
Okay.
series.
Okay.
And how many other towns are gonna pitch in, did you say?
Leamington has approved it.
Okay.
I'm no longer in Hollis, so it's
Okay.
just you guys
Uh-huh, in
and
Leamington.
Leamington.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I have not taken on any other, nor do I have any intention of doing so
Yeah.
with a full-time job. So, but.
Those are usually not fun shots. If
Ricky actually just had them done with the state.
Did he?
Yep. So, and they, of course, the state pays for theirs.
Right.
So, but he said it's no longer in the stomach, it's in the arm,
Yeah.
which is a good thing, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, man, I hate things in my stomach.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wanna
that
shove
sounds
my
terrible.
stomach.
For my daughter, it was
So-
in her butt.
Ah. Yeah.
But it was a real
It
rabies.
was
It was,
an
it was a nasty,
exploded.
thick immunoglobulin.
Right.
Yeah, like, she couldn't move for days.
Mm.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Safety grant, would that cover? Safety grant might cover that shot.
It's usually for,
Yeah, if we're talking about 500 split two ways, I mean,
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Well,
Right.
hard to
That's a
meet
very
at
interesting
7 or 8.
possibility, yeah.
So it was 400 or 500 less.
Plus, they can't,
400
they won't pay
less.
for it if you
Correct.
do it already.
Gotcha, gotcha.
It has to be an active, right.
Well, it's
So
gonna
you'd
use
have
a
to,
year off with a second shot.
I haven't even started
Yeah.
Yeah.
the series yet, so I wanted to make sure that I had you guys and Leamington on board at the same time. Because at their town meeting, they were like $1,200. Well, I mean, it's a matter of time because of the animals that I deal with, unfortunately.
Yep.
So,
you don't need that exposure, really.
Yeah,
no.
Don't even
No.
go there.
nope. So I'd rather have the pre instead of the actual hay. They found that it was rabid now.
Yeah.
Now I've got to.
I didn't know they could do that.
Yep. Yep, they
Now,
can.
get one going for Lyme disease.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
I sent you another version, Aaron, of the application checklist that I finished, okay? Because I added a signature. We did something else.
Okay.
Okay, all right, just going back.
Not a problem. We're getting into the summer season now, so using my truck's gonna be a lot better than the winter time. Winter time, and we'll get to that towards the winter. My truck has a tonneau cover, okay? If I have a dog, I don't want the dog on my back seat. Some of them are just not fun to be around, and I have no cage in there. So I've got to figure out what I can do for next winter if I get a dog that I have to go and take control of. Because the Harvest Hills isn't going to like me and bring a dog in there that's frozen. I wouldn't like myself if I did that either. So I'm going to be able to figure out how I can transport if I have to have somebody else come and help with transport or what. But I don't own an SUV. So, and I've talked to Leamington about this too. So I'm going to just kind of figure out where I can go from here.
What about a crate?
Well, I've got a crate, but he's still putting it in the back of the truck. And in some of the weather, if you've got an animal that is, say, gone because it's been neglected, I don't want to have that animal die before I get all the way over Harvest Hills.
Okay,
You
you
know
wouldn't
what I
put it
mean?
in a crate in the back seat, no?
I don't think a crate in the back seat's gonna fit. I
Huh, okay,
mean, I have a Tundra, but it's
Yeah.
got some room, but I still have a seat in the back.
yeah.
So, and a lot of the, I mean, you've got a lot of dogs that are pretty good size. So, but I've been looking for an SUV. I just haven't found one that's gonna be the right price. My wife won't let me just go out and buy an SUV just for ACO stuff. She drew a line there. So.
There's a limit.
There is. I am trying to get a hold of York County to see if they could hook me up with some sort of vehicle. So, because from time to time, they turn vehicles in, and sometimes they'll just give them out to the towns. So, for especially use like that, because county won't do a K-9 type of, an ACO type of thing. It's us and then it's state. Those are the only two levels that you have. So the bigger animals, I can use a state agent because they have state
like-
They've got trailers
yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that, so that would be an easier thing on that. But it's just, I'm not gonna call the state agent to come out and pick up the dog. They're gonna say, what are you talking about? You should be
Yeah.
able to cover that. So, just stuff to think about from here going forward. I don't know how the last individual, well, actually, I didn't know how Ricky used to do it. He had a separate pickup truck that he used.
Huh.
And just stuck him, and he was lucky. Because Hetty had a dog that, just did not cooperate. It's front seat, back seat. You're driving,
Uh-huh.
it's a danger, that's very dangerous. So, but other than that, everything has been going well. I'm gonna knock on wood.
Good.
So, and I'll continue to do what I do and field the calls as I can, and go from there. I'll find out from Wilmington. I'm gonna meet with their select board on Thursday as far as the cell phone. Because, there's two choices, so, and I wouldn't want to carry another cell phone around with me, but if I had to, I would, if you guys had to do one. Or if you split the bill with them, which they may have no problem with, I don't know, but I have to check with them on that. Normally I wouldn't run into a problem, but where I'm going out, out of the United States, and one of their selectmen is actually going to be taking my phone for that period of time. She's
Yeah.
going to be fielding the calls for me. So I just want to make sure that everything is all on the up and up. So, okay.
Perfect.
All right, sounds good.
Appreciate the update. Let us know about that,
Yes.
what you find out.
Yep, I will do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully this weekend I can, it's hard because I work at my normal daytime job. Actually, I would have been in here earlier, but ran into a hiccup at work, so I ended up coming later.
Yeah.
So,
Not a
but,
problem for us.
right?
Yeah. Here
So,
until 6:30 at least.
yep. And I have not forgot about what you had emailed me about. I just haven't had time.
No worries.
We're coming off of our busy season with pit stops, so
Yep.
things are gonna start slowing down, so I'll have a little bit more time to be able to actually just.
Yes.
stuff out.
No worries.
So, I'll look and see what Ricky, well, actually, I'll look online and see what he gave in the past.
Yep.
Because I can't give you names and stuff like that, I just.
No, right. No, not looking for that.
Just type of calls I can give.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So.
Yeah.
Go from there. I know last time I had talked to the board about a filing cabinet that I can use here.
Yeah.
That's locked.
Oh, it's locked.
Yep, because it's gonna have personal information
Yeah.
of individuals.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have to work on that.
Okay.
We'll check.
All right.
Yeah.
And go from there, because I know that the state sends them rabies certs too,
Uh-huh.
that has individuals' information on
Right.
it that needs to go in that as well. So,
Yeah.
but, okay,
All right,
Awesome.
sounds good.
all
Thank
right,
you.
till we meet again.
Thanks, yeah.
Have a great night.
You
You
too.
too.
Too. All right.
Thanks, Aaron.
So after, I was gonna say after we got it all done, I combined the two and
I just got
got rid of that extra cell that I had that was messing me up,
Oh, okay.
finally.
You've got 3 delineators for the numbers. You got a dash on one. You got mostly periods, and 5 has a comma. Can we make it consistent? You can choose.
For which,
Oh, under
This
the,
is the
under the
checklist.
checklist, okay, 1 dash and then 2 period, 3 period.
And 5 comma.
oh, I didn't even, yep. One period, whoop, I don't wanna do that, don't do that, undo. Okay. Oh, that 5 has a comma. This would that's what happens when you, there we go, 11 dot, dot, dot. All right, the rest of them are periods. Okay. There we go, fix that.
only other comment is, I don't know about you guys, but I can't sign in the amount of space that's given there for signature of town clerk. Can you move that time and date line up one? Which won't extend.
What's the matter? That's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's very
All right.
casual.
Yeah,
Day.
exactly.
All right.
You always barge in, you should.
Payroll on one side, warrant on the other.
Okay. Thank you. I don't see anything else on there.
If
That's
I
good.
do that, it
And then,
pushes 13 down.
this last one, hopefully.
Okay.
I missed the part about the cell phone with David Lonsby. Is he asking the town to pay for a cell phone?
Well, no, he doesn't really want another cell phone. He's using, as a contact, the cell phone that he got from Leamington. That's what's published on our website. The problem comes up when he is going to be leaving the country, and he has to leave the cell phone
Oh,
with a select board member. So they're going to be answering that phone. I mean, there are two problems there. One is, are we going to have to pay for a portion of that phone overall?
Mm.
And the second is, what do we do when he's out of the country? But that's in November, so I'm not even going to think about that right now.
okay, good.
Hopefully we can find a deputy by then.
Yeah, that should be nice. And that their select board member will be willing to field our calls and forward them.
Yes.
Find a deputy, or is it, would it be more cost effective to find another? I know he did talk about another at ACO covering,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, are we talking, how long is he gonna be gone?
2 weeks,
Oh,
a little more.
and do we wanna maybe just, you know, get another ACO to cover for 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. I mean,
Enough said.
ideally, we would have a
Right.
deputy, though,
Yeah,
just because he
When
can't
was it
cover everything.
purchased?
We may want to reach out to Leamington and say,
yeah.
hey,
Who's covering them for you?
who's covering for you while this is happening?
Yeah.
You know, and then are they willing to kind
up
of,
too.
you'd say it's 2 weeks.
I don't even have that
It
Make
may
it
be
with-
that board member,
Maybe
because the
the
select board is
deed and
responsible if
The
you don't have
transfer
an
tax,
ACO.
which
Right.
only puts the purchase price on it.
Well, but hey, if we said to them, hey,
Could be a
you know,
couple months.
we'll reach out to Cornish's, you know, ACO or whoever,
What's the
you know,
owner's
about
name?
coverage. You know, are you willing to cover their, you know, cover for 2 weeks, half of whatever they do, or cover whatever they do for your town?
Hmm.
You know, here's what we're gonna do, and we reach out to them and propose.
Yeah,
Well, and I will re-email the gentleman that,
Look
yeah,
towards
Yeah, okay.
yeah, that sounds good.
yeah. I don't know whatever happened there. It
It's a
sounded like a
selectmen,
great
make sure
candidate,
it
and
comes
then,
to selectmen, okay? Yes, selectmen, okay?
Okay. The
You'll have to get
application
mine.
and the
Yep, fixed,
list looks good to me.
fix the dash, fix the comma, fix the space. Got an email from Facebook. They've extended the deadline to move videos to June 29th.
June 29th. That was
So we got an extra month and a
a
half.
month and a half, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I imagine they got a lot of flack for, first of all, the policy, and second of all, the deadline.
Yeah. Well, and there's, there's people that stream that get income from Facebook that, you can go back and watch their videos. And so that's created this, problem that's much bigger than the, municipal video hosting for them.
For sure.
And so, yeah, they're trying to get that figured out.
Yeah.
So maybe that they, keep pushing that can down the road, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, and
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
move videos when I'm here. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Where are you at now?
22,
Oh, wow.
sometime in
You're
22.
better than the auditor.
That's right.
Well, he's going backwards, though.
That's right.
The
Oh.
auditor is hopefully moving forward.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. How far back do we go?
I was just gonna keep going. I know that we, I don't know when have we always always used Facebook?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say, because it just keeps like, it'll only load so far, and then I'll scroll and it'll load more, and so I don't never see the bottom.
I can't remember when we started
Yeah.
broadcasting. Well, it was when we got this equipment,
Yeah.
so we can probably tell from when we got that equipment.
Yep.
Debbie,
Wasn't super long ago.
can you check and see when we got this equipment? The audio-visual equipment?
Didn't we buy it with ARPA funds?
Maybe?
I think we did, so that's pandemic. That's like 21,
Yep.
yeah?
Yeah. So I'm almost there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey.
Well, and I've hit the point where it's only Selectboard, because Planning Board was doing YouTube
Uh-huh.
before we bought the new camera systems.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've hit that point.
Mm.
And then now the videos are just the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right,
I don't
remember?
think you have far to go.
Yeah.
No. No, if it was 21, then yeah, I've only got about a year's worth. I'll probably finish it this week.
Wow.
They started moving over our stuff onto the new website.
Yeah.
So I go in every now and then just to kind of check it out, and I noticed that they had our design loaded, and I went in and they have a bunch of the agenda and minutes loaded.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got it pretty close. But it's nice because you can see kind of what it's going to look like, and they don't have any like the subpages loaded yet. Looks like whoever it was just doing agenda and minutes, and but they're at least coding everything correctly, so everything's being coded as agendas or minutes or agenda packets. There's no video, none of the video links I've seen have gone over. I don't know if they're going to do those video links, or because I know they do video hosting, so I'm wondering if that's just that. But yeah, they've started to move over. They started to put in, they've got ACO and code enforcement in there for the staff directory, but that's it for, and they've moved over all the documents, all the policies, code reports, police statistics, municipal election results. So they've done the biggest part, which is the stuff. The multitude of PDFs that they had to move over.
Yeah.
And now it's just all the but it's all there.
Very good.
Deb, we don't pay Saco River Corridor Commission dues, right?
Yes.
We, on a monthly basis?
No?
No.
No,
And
no, isn't that just what they ask of us
Yes,
at
exactly.
town meeting?
Yes,
Right.
yeah. Why?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why. Didn't seem like I would call it dues, but how come we're just paying it now?
Because it was missed.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not down, it's up in Fund 10 where it's not in public safety. Or, you know, it probably needs to be someplace else. It doesn't, because it gets lost up in the admin general fund.
let's
so.
move it. All right, let's see here. I need to know.
Crushed gravel. Where have they been working lately?
The audio was. I would say we got the auto around February of '23.
Okay. Thank you.
Seems like a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
Well, we were broadcasting, just using the
Right.
computer and the
Right,
camera when
yeah.
we were just doing the
Yeah.
agenda.
Well, you know what? If I had to do a FEMA grant with the way these invoices come in, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah.
It just says, you know, 3/4 inch crushed gravel doesn't say. Where? Oh, here we go. It's in with his equipment stuff, that's good. Pendexter, Dearborn, Pendexter, Deborah. Dutch Road, where's Dutch Road?
Dutch Road is off of, let's see, Mountain Road to Lombard Hill.
Oh,
Dutch Road.
okay.
One house.
Oh, okay. I know where the area is,
Yeah.
yep. Hasty, Arthur Morrill, Stagecoach, okay.
Anything but the payroll. Do you want to look at this now, Aaron? Or?
Sure.
Okay. All right, we're gonna end the workshop. We're gonna turn that video off. Take a 5-minute break, and we'll be back with the board meeting at 6 o'clock.